Let's talk about how to subtract mixed numbers. We're going to use those 3 examples to learn this topic. So the first example, we have to subtract 9 and 3/5 with 7 and 2/5. One method for subtracting mixed numbers, as well as adding mixed numbers, is to convert them to improper fractions and then just go ahead and subtract them as fractions. I'm going to leave that method to you to try. What I will do in this video, I will keep them as mixed numbers and we'll see how we can subtract them as they are. So to subtract those 2 mixed numbers, I'm going to align them vertically, 9 and 3/5 minus 7 and 2/5. And I will subtract fractions and whole parts separately. So 3/5 minus 2/5. Well, first of all, denominators are the same, right? So we got the easier case. 3/5 minus 2/5, that's 1/5. And now 9 minus 7 is 2. So I'm looking at the result. I can see that this fraction is a proper fraction. And I cannot simplify it any further, so that means that that's the final answer. 2 and 1/5. So we performed the following steps. We subtracted the fractional parts and we subtracted the whole parts. Subtract. Well, let's try it again with example B. Let me align the fractions. 9 and 1/10 minus 6 and 7/10. Let's see what we have here. Well, if we follow the same approach, then I need to start by subtracting fractions. But as I look at the fractions, I notice that, well, I don't have enough in the first fraction to subtract the second one, right? I can't do 1/10 minus 7/10. I don't have enough here. When that happens, this is what we'll do. We'll need to increase this part. We need to kind of like grow this part. That will be the approach. To grow this fraction, I will separate 1 from 9. So that's how I will write it. 9 is same as 8 plus 1, right? So this is still 9. And then I also have plus 1/10. So I separated 1 from 9. Here it is, I have 8 that's left, and now I need to add that 1 to 1/10. So how do I add those two? Well, 1, I want to rewrite as a fraction, so that's going to be 1/1 plus 1/10. But now I'm not ready to add them yet, right? Because I cannot add fractions that have different denominators. They have to have the same denominators. Well, what will be the LCD for those two? It's going to be 10, right? So in other words, 1/1, I have to adjust by multiplying the denominator by 10. So it becomes 10. And I have to multiply the numerator by 10. So in other words, I will be adding 10/10 and 1/10. So what is that? Well, let me write this way. I still have 8, so here it is. And then 10/10 plus 1/10, that's 11/10. So see what we have now? See how our fractions got bigger? We had 1/10, well, we had 9 and 1/10. And now we have 8 and 11/10. So that was the process. And as we increase the fractional part, now we're ready to subtract 6 and 7/10. So I'll move it over here. Let's see what that will give us. 11/10 minus 7/10, that is 4/10. And 8 minus 6, that's 2. Okay, so now we could subtract. Is this the final answer? Not yet, because we can see how 4/10 can be simplified, right? 4 and 10 can be divided by 2. So we'll divide by 2 each, and then I will write down the final answer. So that's 2 and 2/5. That will be the final answer. So that's the approach. Let's try that one more time. So we have last example right here. First of all, I noticed that in this example, denominators are not the same for fractions. So first I will rewrite fractions. so that they have same denominator. Now, denominators are 9 and 6. What will be the LCD? What is the smallest number that I can divide by 9 and by 6? I think it's 18, right? I think both 9 and 6 can be divided into 18. 8 and something over 18 minus something over 18. So I rewrite them with new denominators. Let's see what we need to put in the numerators. So if my original denominator here is 9 and I want it to be 18, it means that it has to be multiplied by 2. Well, if the denominator has to be multiplied by 2, the numerator has to be multiplied by 2 as well. So that makes that 4. So my first mixed number I rewrite as 8 and 4 over 18. How about this fraction? It had denominator 6, but I wanted to have denominator 18. So that means that it has to be multiplied by 3. If I multiply on the bottom, I have to multiply on the top. And that means that numerator becomes 5 times 3, 15. So once the denominators are the same, I am ready to subtract. I will align those numbers vertically down here. So it's 8 and 4 over 18 minus 15 over 18. So the second number is just a fraction. Next, I need to try to subtract fractions, but as I can see here, I don't have enough to subtract 15 over 18, right? I don't have this fraction big enough. So I have to increase it by doing the same that we did in the previous example. By separating 1 from 8, so that becomes 7 plus 1. Here's that 1 that I separated. And then plus 4 over 18. So I separated 1 from 8 right here. And now I want to add that 1 to the fraction. To add 1 to the fraction, I will rewrite 1 as 1 over 1. Now to add 1 over 1 and 4 over 18, they have to have same denominator. So 1 over 1 I will multiply by 18 on the bottom and on the top, like that. Now I'm ready to add. So it's 7 right here. And then 18 over 18 plus 4 over 18. So 18 plus 4 gives me 22. And then I'll just keep the denominator 18. And now I am ready to, so I will rewrite this second fraction. I'm ready to subtract 15 over 18. I have enough to subtract, right? 22 minus 15, that's 7. And the denominator stays 18. So subtracting fractions gives me 7 over 18. And I'll just bring down that 7. There's nothing to subtract from it. So I'll just bring it down, 7. So that's what I got. Let's check if that's the final answer. So first of all, this is a proper fraction, and then it cannot be simplified any further, so that means that we're looking at the final answer. Okay, so that's the way you subtract mixed numbers. That's one of the methods to subtract mixed numbers.